Just days after the Fenix 8 is made official, I've got it in hand. So today we're going to go through an unboxing. We're going to go through the initial setup, and you can kind of see all the different settings, the new UI, and give some preliminary thoughts about the watch itself, how it feels, how it looks, how it compares to the Epix that I have on my wrist right now. So I'm not going to go through and do a full review. I kind of feel like that's disingenuous. I get it at the same time you guys do. I'm a consumer like you guys. I'm not sent something ahead of time. I haven't had this on my wrist for weeks. So walking through as a review, I'm just spouting out the specs and all the features that were in the presentation. I'm going to do a review, but I'm going to do that after I have at least a couple weeks with the watch. So that'll be coming. But for now, let's jump into an unboxing, a setup, and some initial thoughts. Let's get to it. Alright, let's get to it. Got the brand new Fenix 8, so this is the 47mm, the OLED, and the Sapphire with the silver bezel. Definitely partial to that. Let's see, start off the box. We've got a little pull tab here to get things going. There it is. Very nice, very nice. Let's go ahead and nice sapphire lens. Okay. Let's see, is anything in here? No, it's just whatever, we got that. Their actual watch with a new band, the default band being orange is kind of a new thing. I mean, orange is the thing, right? I like orange bands. I like wearing it when I run. I feel like it's a little more visible. Definitely sporty. I feel like everything about this new watch is pretty sporty now. The watch faces, a lot about it, and I'm gonna be honest, I like to, let's see what we got here. That, I think, like Floss would say, pluck them and file them. And on the other side, we just have the charging cord, and this is a USB-C. So we got the USB-C to their, of course, they're proprietary, so we're dealing with obviously that same charging port that we had on previous generations. Nothing fancy and new like they had on the Mark series, but there we go. So right away, just looking at it, you can see the band. The band feels nice. The band reminds me of the one that I have, which is always better than third-party ones. I have to say, third-party ones are always so sticky. Not really liking them, like when you get running or when you get hot. Bezel is so much thinner. You know, we're gonna have to get the old one off. There we go. So you could see that's a 47 base Epix, and you could see quite a difference in the bezel there. About the same thickness, but the new one is just under a millimeter less thick. You can see if you're looking at the same side here. A new sensor protector. Nice little accent piece there, right? Let's get these powered up. There we go. Boot up taking a minute, like it always does. And this is, you know, one of the things that I said in my last video. I wish that Garmin made some kind of mention of newer processor, something that's going to say, hey, this is going to be a little bit faster. It's going to be a smoother experience in the UI. I have not heard that from others that have already had this. If you're looking around online, some people say the UI is a little choppy, not quite as smooth. All right, looks like we're loading maps. So that's gonna probably take a second. Just kidding. Looks like we don't have to go through some phone pairing. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, we're going through initial sync, initial setup. Let's see, is there anything different here? Down gives you access to the glance list, your glances, and right now they have, this is new now, when you swipe down you're getting phone notifications by default now. Okay, we went through the initial setup, connection to the phone, Wi-Fi, stuff like that. So this is our first one here. That's about our text size. What size do we want the text? My eyes are getting a little bit older, so maybe we want that a little bit bigger. I don't know. I think that's fine. I'm sure it can be adjusted again later. Select activities. Set up your activities with some of your favorites. So sure, let's go ahead and do that. Run. Do some biking and some strength training. I guess maybe go all the way to the bottom to confirm. Okay, I'll try and use buttons here. Of course, we could do a whole bunch of swiping on here, but I'm gonna use buttons more just so you could see everything. So let's go ahead and look. So obviously we go up and T-Mobile is thanking me for calling them. So phone notifications, we could dismiss them from the watch. No more notifications. If we go down, we're gonna have our default. And you can see, let's do that again. A little bit smoother there. Definitely was not super smooth the first time it came up. It was a little jittery, and people have said that about the UI, that it's a little bit jittery. It's not super smooth as of yet. S&P's having a nice day. ABC, so all just default widgets. And we're back there. Of course, right here we have, so this is where you could go into your actual activities, and we have the favorites there, and then you could add some more. And again, that seemed like a little jittery if I'm being honest. And going down, there's the standard ones. All right, so if we go and look at how this looks compared to this, we have just all the list of different sports. And then it gets into the kind of non-sport activities, whereas here it's separated with our sports and then into the non-sport applications basically. So if we go and look through some of our widgets here, let's just take a look and see. Look at that, that looks pretty nice. It actually looks pretty modern, I have to say. That's kind of simple stuff. Okay, we got some temperature trends, air quality, maps, have y'all showing up at my front door. Sunset, so again, and to me that looks pretty much the same. So if we go and look, sunset here, yeah, so they're the same. A bunch of these are the same. I mean, it looks like they updated weather, right? That weather one is definitely new. Not sure if some of the other newer watches have that, but you get that little background thing here. Looks nice. And you can tell too, a whole lot of the activities and stuff, they all have that kind of like topo background. So let's see if I look at my health, body battery, yeah. Let me tell you what happens when, oh, I think maybe that hasn't synced over, just because it says plus minus 0. That's probably my current body battery. That's what happens when you have infants. Sleep coach, sleep more. Wish I could, coach. So let's see, oops. Okay, so I guess did a little long hold, and then that's how we're gonna move activities if you want to move them up and down. Let's see if we look here. Yeah, so I feel like lots of these kind of secondary applications are all going to look pretty much the same. And then when you get into some of the more primary things, you're going to see some differences, some updates. Where's my heart rate? Yeah, I keep all the health stuff up top. So I'll definitely go through and customize all that sort of stuff in a bit. Yeah, I mean, you can see it's a little different. So definitely, so let's talk about the buttons here. I know you obviously can't hear this stuff. I mean, maybe with this one you might be able to. You know, the classic clicky mechanical buttons from Garmin. And now what we have with this one, with the Fenix 8, there's no click at all. These just, they move in. I see why some people say they don't like them. They're very different. It's very different. You're pushing it in and you get a haptic feedback. So think of like you're typing on your phone and you have haptics turned on, and like when you touch down to touch a key, you feel that little haptic feedback. That's what you're getting when you push a button now, when you push it all the way in. And that, of course, is part of the sealing of the body better, so that pushing the buttons does not allow any ingress of water or debris or whatever, and enables the diving certification, which is a new thing here. Let's go ahead and long press here to look at settings. Let's definitely dive into watch faces. People have been complaining non-stop about these watch faces. Add new. So let's see what we got here. That's the default one it comes with. Again, you see like it kind of like lags there for a second when it goes over. Yeah, it's not snappy, but well, it is what it is. You know, if you're scrolling a watch face, it's not snappy. If you're tracking a multi-GPS activity in a city and it gets accurate readings, like that's why you pay the big bucks for the watch. So that's an interesting one though. You got kind of the analog, but still has the little complications there on the sides, and I'm sure those are all customizable, of course. We'll jump into one and look at the options in a second. So I've seen that one as well. And yeah, I mean, what I'm getting from these, like I get it, it's an OLED display, it's very vibrant, you want that in an OLED. That looks kind of classic Fenix or Epix, right? That kind of more just utilitarian, rugged sort of look. Same here. And then that's just kind of the classic analog. But just lots of bright colors, lots of vibrancy. You know, that combined with the accent piece and the strap, you're getting a lot of bright colors here. So let's dive into this one, right? This one, I'll be honest, this one's not really my favorite. So if we're saying, okay, we want to, let's look at the styles of this one. Style 1, style 2. What in the heck changed? I'm sure watching this back I'll realize what has changed on this, but for the life of me I can't tell what is changing here. So okay, sure, style 1. Data. Okay, so here, this is kind of neat, like it's kind of moving there, pulsing, so you know what you're trying to change here. So right now it's at steps. Okay, and you could see down on that left side, there's a lot of things we could put here. So that's pretty cool. Lots of options, lots of customizability. I'm digging these buttons. I don't think there's anything wrong with these. It's very different. I don't see why people are unhappy with it though. Okay, so we had up here the steps, the altitude, the top right. I'm not going to go through all these. VO2 max. Oh god, I'm so bad right now. And battery down below. And that's all. Accent color. So this was another thing. It looks like they've got a lot of different colors here. I mean, look at all of these. This is pretty cool. You could really get specific with what colors you want here. I think that's pretty cool. So I guess that's what's on the other watch face. Having this level of color options is really neat. I assume probably the same on data color. It has more of these kind of customized colors here. I think they are very sporty and bright and vibrant, and I guess that's the look they were going for. I like to be able to have a more mature look on the watch when I want to, which doesn't seem super easy to do when all the watch faces are like that. But again, I mean, you throw on a customized one, you use the analog ones, whatever, it's fine. Okay, so if we hop in settings, we see we got our cool little topo graphic that seems to be like on almost every menu and activity now. There's some type of topographic little style. Hit our watch faces, we have our history, so all the same sort of stuff, and looks like they reorganized these a little bit. I'm not sure if we could do that. Now this is a new one. I'm pretty sure focus mode, sleep and activity, power mode, satellite auto select. So it looks like you could have I kind of assume that that's for notifications. I'll have to hop in a little bit more and see. But again, I'm going through all this, just like anyone else would. I'm figuring it out as we go. Use your profile, power manager, so lots of the sort of stuff you'd expect. Settings there. Let's see. So let's see what software. We're on 10.17. I actually did check for any updates. There's no updates available right now. I'm going to go through all that stuff. So the settings look really familiar. Not too much new other than focus modes there. I mean, the menus and the widgets, everything's updated. The fonts are updated. The way the menus presented is updated. So this is kind of like some of the new UI elements. And this was confirmed by Garmin that it is not, this new UI is not coming to older versions. So if you have even like the Epix Pro, the Fenix 7 Pro, the 965 Forerunner, none of those are going to be getting this new UI. Apparently it is all new base code, meaning it has basically been rewritten. So even though lots of the elements look the same, apparently the code is extremely different. So yeah, well, Garmin is typically extremely good at getting start a timer for 5 minutes. Okay, that didn't take too long. That's not bad. Didn't start it though. It looked like it set it. But while Garmin has traditionally been really good about bringing software updates to the older models, it looks like the UI will not be coming. But that doesn't mean certain features of the software will not be coming. Different activities. I mean, obviously we're not getting scuba and things that are hardware dependent. but I imagine that lots of the features will trickle down, but the UI will not. So I was just messing around with some activities here. Activities. Is that not how to get into activities? Yeah, see, this is maybe because I woke it up with a long press, but it is quite frozen right now. Oh, okay, I guess it was recording all those. Okay, I guess we're back. I'm trying to exit out. Yeah, it's frozen again. So it's like it's registering the presses, but then it's like it's a little bit laggy. So this UI is a little bit laggy. Hey, there's our timer reset. Again, we're trying to exit out. This thing is, come on. Okay. Jeez. Rest, yes, definitely. I need some rest. Not sure why that's pulling up though. Am I in a run activity? What in the heck? Man. I'm exiting out of this, but again, I should have exited out. There we go. Wow. I'm gonna restart this. Maybe if we restart it. I do work in IT, and sometimes the old turn it off, turn it on again works wonders. Let's give that a shot. And we're back. We went through a reboot. Got always on display on. Today's suggestion, you gotta rest. More suggestions. Rest day. Yeah. Well, it's working better now. I mean, I wonder if when you're first setting it up, if it needs some extra time to sync or whatever the case may be. But and that's also new as well. If we go here, just missed this. Let's start our run. How do we go down to? So you get this by default. You have a lock, and you could unlock touch. It's kind of neat. I don't like having touch during runs. Although I guess right there is the exception if you're trying to use navigation.
18 seconds.
Didn't mean to do that. So there's our defaults. Now we can. Oh, I wonder if you have to go over for these other screens. So there's our default one. We could go to data screens. Okay, what was the point of this one then? Okay. And music, have to connect music providers, but now one thing I did notice, the bezel to discard. The bezel to screen height is super close. I have more adapted to the heat. So if we look here, Like that is very close. So on my Epix, I always rah. Hard to throw in a rah. On my Epix, I've actually got a screen protector. I always thought best bang for your buck was not a sapphire lens, but just get a regular Gorilla Glass and get a screen protector. I had this thing get smashed up on something, and I had to replace the screen protector, and I think I got 2 for $10 or something, and it works fine. I've had this on for years at this point. The 2 I have lasted the whole 3 years I own this. But looking at the height here, I feel like any screen protector that's put on here might stick out past the bezel. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm crazy and maybe I'm wrong about that, but it seems like it's very shallow. To me, that looks very shallow. It looks like the same height that I have with the screen protector on for the base Epix. You see the different looks there. That bezel looks so big now. Of course, our flashlight, gonna love having the flashlight. Down at the bottom is the speaker. A little bit tough to see. There we go. That's where the speaker is, and the mic is protected in here. All right, I think let's wrap this up. Okay, so we just got an update. So this was not available before. See, I've charged up the watch. I synced it over into Garmin Express. So just got 11.59 pushed out. Couldn't find a changelog on the Garmin forums. There's nothing on the watch. Like, I know they would give, whenever there's feature updates, they would do that, but maybe it's just bug fixes. I don't know. I just tried to run through some things and just see how responsive things are. I think it's a little better. Tough to really say, but I mean, it's not freezing up like it did before, so obviously that is quite welcome. Yeah, it seems to be doing a lot better in that regard. I did throw some different glances I typically use onto the watch. There's a lot more of those, and you could see, like, if we go, seems to be going through just fine. No no hiccups there. So yeah, I mean, that's encouraging. Okay, so there you have it, guys. The watch did get an update after I filmed a few of the original functions and a little bit of the walkthrough, and it was freezing up quite a bit. It was lagging, like the button presses weren't being registered immediately, and when I'd try and enter an activity and do a few things, it would completely freeze and then catch up, and all of a sudden every single button press was registered and it jumped forward a bunch. So I mean, that tells me I don't know if there's maybe some issue with the registering of the buttons, but nothing was working. Everything was frozen, right? The touch screen wasn't working, the buttons weren't working. So they're definitely working some bugs out with this software, and I mean, to be honest, when you're paying top dollar for a flagship product, it's not a great start when you feel like you're a beta tester. If they had this watch out at half the price, and it would still be extremely expensive, first of all, but even then you wouldn't expect that the initial software experience was buggy, slow, laggy. That doesn't inspire confidence. I mean, I've had quite a few Garmin watches. They've always been solid. They've always been reliable. Garmin customer support has always been good to me. They've always replaced things when things have broken. They've been responsive. And the products I've used, aside from watches, the heart straps, the scales, they've all been good. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for now, but I'm excited to put this thing through its paces, and I'm just going to put my faith in Garmin to get everything ironed out in the coming days. So I will do a full review where I go through and actually test lots of the functionality. I'm not going to bother doing lots of the GPS accuracy stuff, lots of the other big YouTubers. I'm sure you've seen some of the charts and everything. I mean, it's an Elevate 5 sensor with multi-band GPS. It's gonna be good. I can't put it into any sort of canyon testing or something. I don't have a canyon testing budget on this channel. So me running around my neighborhoods and through the woods a bit, it's not gonna really do anything that you haven't seen the Elevate 5 sensor already do. So I want to focus more on just the usability of the watch, some of the new features like the mic, the speaker, the day-to-day using, how's the UI working out, how's the new strength training programs. I'm gonna dive into those a bunch for sure. So be sure to come back. I'd say a few weeks until that full review is ready. I want at least 2 weeks to test it. I might take a little bit more and then get the video together, get my thoughts together, do all the editing. It takes me a while to do all that stuff. But I want to have a review that's going to actually give some value to someone, to really share my experience with it, not just open the box and say, hey, I got it, here's all the specs and everything that Garmin already spouted out in their marketing stuff. That doesn't help anyone. Walking through the features and, test a phone call and, oh, hey, that's my review. So I want to spend some real time with the watch and really get to see how good it really is. Is it worth such a tremendous price point that they're charging? Is it worth getting it on sale? Is it worth waiting for the next generation? Is it worth buying the Pro Series now that they're going to be discounted? That's the sort of stuff I want to be able to tackle and give you the information on those sorts of decisions so that you can make the best decision for yourself after that review. So thanks so much for making it through this entire video. If you did make it to the end, you're a real one. I appreciate you. Throw a thumb, drop a sub. I'm Dave. This is Dave Does Fitness. Have an awesome day and stay fit.